Welcome back. Donald Trump talking about an issue you haven't heard a lot of politicians talk about: how to help or make immigrants assimilate to America once they are here in America. Is that a good idea? Is it possible?
And it might be through his new screening process, which he talks about. Let's ask Kansas Secretary of State Kris Kobach is back with us. He helped Donald Trump write his border plan, and of course it was delivered in its entirety last night. Kris, what stood out for you?
Oh, a number of things, but you hit one of the nails on the head right there with assimilation. I haven't heard a presidential candidate or a president talk about assimilation in our immigration system in a long time. And, you know, it's so important that we welcome immigrants here, but that's just the first half. You have to make people become American, and that's something we should not be ashamed of, adopting our values. And the way you do that is you control the numbers, for one thing. If they're just unremitting wave after wave without any pause, then there's no incentive for people to become American. You do things like the ideological screening that Donald Trump talked about, and another thing you have to do is make our schools, our public schools, the crucible of assimilation that they used to be in the past, but they're not anymore. So he's really digging deep in this speech, and it was just wonderful to hear.
But don't you have to believe in your own culture and your values in order to inculcate them into other people? And don't you have to put language at the center? I mean, our schools used to assimilate people by teaching them English.
Exactly.
We don't do that. Why?
That's exactly right. You know, if you have a multiculturalism ethic that is so strong that you're constantly repudiating American values, how in the world are you going to encourage newcomers to adopt those values? And so it's a big task, but we have a president who's now talking about it, at least. That's really an important point of his speech.
Kris, he also, in a delicate way, because it could be a put-down, they talked about minority communities and protecting wages. For people here legally trying to work themselves up the system, they're being blown out of the workforce by people working underneath under the wire, so to speak.
Yeah, this was a really important part of the speech. He mentioned it 3 times, protecting the wages of American workers. If you look at every single industry where illegal immigration has come in and sort of swamped the workforce, wages have gone through the floor. That's hotel cleaning, that's meat packing plants, that's some aspects of construction. So what you've got to do if you want to protect those at the bottom of our economic ladder, which includes a lot of people who are themselves new immigrants of Hispanic ethnicity and African-American U.S. citizens, you've got to protect them from illegal competition so wages can go up. And Trump was hitting it. And you know, again, I haven't heard a president talk about this in my lifetime.
No, because it benefits the people who run everything, of course.
And of course, he thinks he hopes it helps him become president. Kris Kobach, thanks so much. Appreciate the inside story.
My pleasure.